stream. For this video, I want to go ahead and talk about the main message that I'm going to be talking about is people from your past, people who you once knew and had history with. It can even be family, an old friend, an old acquaintance, or someone in your life who will try to gain access again to come back into your life. We need to use the power of discernment and be very observant of the fact that not everyone who is coming back into our life is going to be for the right reasons. We have certain people who are plotting against us. They see the anointing over our life. They see that bright light that God has blessed us with internally. He blessed us internally with this bright light. There's a lot of spiritual warfare still going on, especially during this time when we're transitioning into a new world. A lot of people are using this negative energy that's going on because there's a lot of negative energy because we're leaving the old behind. So a lot of us are healing during these times. Certain people are using the negative energy going around to do spells, to do magic upon us, to try to deceive us. So we just need to be aware of what's really going on. Your anointing is the most valuable treasure that you have. You have to guard it, guard your heart. You have to really protect it because other people are going to try to come near you to take that away from you. We have to understand that the opposition, Satan will use people to steal, kill, and destroy. They'll steal your happiness, they'll steal your joy, they'll come to steal your peace, they'll steal your stability in your life and your plans that you have. They'll kill your spirit, they can even damage your heart, your trust. It doesn't have to be physically, but it's still killing your spirit and your hope and your faith in God. So we need to be aware of this. Also, destroy. They come to destroy what you have going on, what you're planning to do with your life. They want to destroy it and they want to just mess it all up. God's plan. So God has already blessed us with a new vision, which is now we see life with the lens of the spirit of discernment. We can see people for who they are. We've already given the answers of what we need to know about certain people. So what's going to happen eventually, since you're starting to just shine brighter and brighter, you're just causing a lot of attention. You're the spotlight right now, and a lot of people are noticing you. A lot of people want to try to get close to you because of your energy and because they see that beautiful light within you. Some people do not have the best interests for you at heart. Some people have a negative agenda. They are operating with the third dimension way of thinking, only for themselves. They want you for their own personal gain. They want to take advantage of you. They see how big your heart is and how pure you are. They're going to try to deceive you. So they're going to try to come back into your life. So certain ways that the enemy will try to deceive you, this I really want to educate each single one of you guys because we need to stay on guard, protect and guard our hearts, but at the same time still continue to shine bright. The first way a deceiver will try to deceive you is by asking personal questions. Now, someone who doesn't really know you, an old friend of yours may ask, "How's your life? How have you been? What have you been up to?" They're trying to gain personal information about you in order to see and test where you're at and how much they can take. And the way that you respond as well, they're studying you. They're studying the way that you open up, and they're going to try to see if they can gain your trust to manipulate you. It's a game of manipulation. And so they'll start by asking personal questions. You also need to be aware and ask, why is this person returning back to me? And what is their hidden motives? What are they looking for? Why are they here? And why do they want to come back? Especially when they left for a while and all of a sudden they return. So you really need to be asking yourself, why is this person from the past trying to regain access to my life? Another thing to be aware of is gift giving. So, not every single blessing that comes your way is sent by God. We need to be aware of that. Not every single thing that the doors that open around us, they're not all from God. Sometimes there's traps that are set in front of us, obstacles that we have to be able to use that spirit of discernment to make sure that we don't fall into one of those traps. And certain people who have evil spirits, they're going to try to offer you a gift. They're trying to give you something with strings attached so you can feel obligated and in debt to them. So, not saying that every single person that gives you something, they all have bad intentions, but there are certain people who will give you something like a gift or do something nice for you or just give you something but expect a lot in return. So they're already trying to create this relationship that you didn't want and you didn't even consent. So be aware of this. Also be aware of the questions. So what kind of questions are they asking? Are they personal questions about your life? Are there questions that have nothing to do with you and them? Are the questions too personal where you haven't seen this person in a long time but yet they're asking really personal questions about your life and what you're doing and stuff like that? Um Also, what's the other thing? They may share, they may open up to you as well. So the deceivers may open up to you. They may share something with you that's personal to them, and they want you to also open up and also share and reveal something that's personal to you. So even though this other person, you don't know who they are, if they have bad intentions, they can try to open up and prey on your soft spot of your heart, and they're going to open up to you and share something very personal, a sob story or something that they won't tell anyone, but they're going to expect you to also open up to them so they can gain information about you to soon use it against you as leverage. So they might tell you, I opened up, so now it's your turn to open up because I just shared something personal and now you have to do it. You're not obligated to reciprocate back whatever it is that they want, especially when they're desperate. This is another sign of an evil spirit that they become desperate to gain your trust. And you don't really know them that well, but they want you to just trust in them. Um, they even become desperate if you set boundaries with them and you try to go at your own pace with the relationship. You don't want to go quickly because they love bomb you with a lot of flattery and attention. So what you have to be aware of is the fact that someone who's desperate to gain your trust, to be on your good side really quickly, they may have a hidden motive behind why they want to gain your trust so quickly. Um, a narcissist, for example, as soon as you no longer want to associate yourself with them, they're going to become desperate to try to gain your trust through love bombing you again. And they might even play the victim and say, oh, I don't understand. I'm such a good person. I just want the best. And they'll lie and pretend that they have something that you need to offer them and that they're a good person and that you should trust them. Don't trust in what people are telling you. They're going to lie to you and tell you, I'm such a good person, or I want to be your friend. I'm a great friend. You're going to really have someone good in your life if you accept me into your life. They're desperately trying really hard to be on your good side, to deceive you and then to destroy you. We need to be aware of all this, especially when they're desperate and you try to set your boundary and you say, no, um, let's not, you don't want to rush things, but they get angry. You see the reaction in them when they don't get what they want quickly because their scheme, their manipulation, they want it to work their way and their way only. They don't really care about what you want. It's only about what they want in that moment. So even when you set a boundary, just see the reaction of the person. If they're reacting with a lot of anger, hostility, and trying to make you guilty for setting a boundary, That's how you know that the whole time they had a bad agenda towards you to use you and deceive you and take advantage of you, because they become very desperate. Um, Someone who's truly for you, they're gonna want to go at your own pace. They're gonna want to take things slow. There's no rush because they respect you as a person. And also offerings. Also, people from your past may come into your life to offer to collaborate with you, to start something new with them, to include them in your journey because they see your potential and they want to use you to help them benefit their life. So also be aware of this, that you're going to maybe receive offering, because this is the season of God just you're receiving whatever you put out into this world. So they see the anointing over your life and they want to be near you so you can help them look good, or they can increase their status as well. Um, what else? So, yes, also in your life, you may had certain people who treated you bad, they overlooked you, they underappreciated you. You were the underdog, they didn't really believe in you, they doubted you, they made you question your own self-worth and who you are. So, these certain people in your life who overlooked you, they ended up leaving you because they thought that they could find something better in their life, and they left you all alone when you were just constantly pouring into them and showing them um, love. What's going to happen is we have to understand. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my experience so this helps anyone who can relate to this. But middle school year, I was a lot of people would reject me, overlook me, and they treated me very bad, very bad. And most of the time, I was just being nothing but good to these people, and they were using my kindness, my nature of being a giver against me. And instead of valuing what I brought to the table, they were just taking advantage of it and for just always coming towards me to get something for themselves. So these certain people, they laughed at me, they slandered my reputation, they were very jealous. I've always been around a lot of jealous people, envious people, because of my happiness, because of my joy, because of the ability to have a very high good energy. They hate you for this. And as you be nice to people who are envious of you, instead of them actually appreciating you. Envious people want to destroy your life. And I had to realize this, that people who are jealous and envious, they do not have your best interests at heart. These people will tear you down. They will tear you down to the lowest of the lowest, to their level. So even high school, I went into high school and just a bunch of jealous, envious females and males, both genders. It doesn't matter what gender you're dealing with. They both have the spirit of jealousy and envy, and it's hatred, and they show you this hate. They even give you these nasty stares, the evil eye. They they don't take you seriously. They mock you, they laugh at you. They really try to lower you down to their level of misery. Misery does love company. I was around very miserable people. Even though they had money, even though they were financially stable and they were doing good in their life, they always wanted to attack me, the spotlight. And they would be jealous of me because of my spirit, the bright light that would shine. They wanted to steal the spotlight all the time. They were just constantly playing ego trips with me, and it can get very toxic and very draining. So yes, so all these people from my past, they thought I was innocent, naive, that I was just gullible and easy to deceive. But I was just being nice to them because that's just who I was. But they thought that I was being nice to them because of who they were. So they felt that they were the important one, that they were the valuable person because of how I was treating them. So they won't appreciate you. They'll think that it's them who's the prize the whole time, and they'll treat you like you're not the prize. But as soon as you finally distance yourself, they still have the same problems that they're dealing with, because you always want to help and continuously give and give, and these people are just opportunists. They're takers, and they don't even know how to reciprocate. I gave so much to a lot of these people in high school, and when it was my turn, when I was at the lowest, um I was alone in high school, like a loner. And I was constantly doing a lot for people and just being nice to everyone. And everyone knew. They would say, oh, she's so nice. She's so giving. But at the same time, they were jealous and envious. So there was like a love and hate relationship with me. They would love my energy and love my positivity. But me as a person, they would judge me, put labels on me, and they would believe that they knew me, and they would say, "Oh, I know her. I know how she is." But each time I would break out of their box, and I would become more than what they expected me to be. That's when they wanted to start to put me down back again. I always had to be at their level all the time, and it was just groups of people just taking their time out of their day to just attack. So, so I was just a loner, but it's okay because the way that I thought, my spirit, it just bothers them, and they would just, it really does bother them. They can't stand the light for a long time. They can only be around you for so little until they lash out at you, and they just humiliate you or treat you so bad, and you're like, what did I even do? I didn't do anything. And I would always question myself, like, did I really do something? Because I remember I was just being nice, so I don't understand why they're being so evil and wicked towards me. But I was around a lot of dark energy, a lot of low vibrational people who were very egotistical, superficial, self-centered. They were lovers of themselves all the time. They only cared about the money and their social status, and they were so worried about how they looked on the outside, but on the inside, they were just spiritually poor, very spiritually poor, and just evil in the way that they would act and the way that they would speak on others. So I spent a lot of time alone as well, because most people would just participate in negative gossiping. They would just love to just put other people down, laugh at other people who are struggling or people who have problems in their life. They they were just using people as their entertainment, to laugh at them struggling and going through stuff. And the type of school that I went to, it was very heavy. There were certain people in the school who even committed suicide. And one of the students who committed suicide in my high school suffered through bullying. People would belittle him, laugh at him, and just because he was unpopular, or because he wasn't the average person that just fits in with society. So people would mock the outsiders, people who think differently and act differently and who have a very bright spirit. And um, that person who committed suicide, I was just devastated because the principal wanted to keep it a secret for a while. And I was just, it's a human's life, that's still a person, and that person still deserves respect. It was just a lot of things, a lot of evilness that I was just seeing with my eyes, and my heart was broken during those times. And those people in my high school, they really treated me so badly, very badly. And I had certain of them say, "Oh, I'm sorry for what I did to you. I really apologize." I would always accept their apology, and each time I accepted their apology, they would revert back to that same abusive pattern towards me. They would still lash out and say really cruel things towards me. So I knew that these people have a long time to change, or they might not ever change. And I was trying to fix these broken people, but no matter what, as much as I was trying to help them get out of that darkness, they were just bringing me in and keeping me in that dark place with them. So, so high school experience was a really bad experience. I'm glad I graduated out of that high school, and I'm glad I was able to leave that very toxic environment, that very abusive, horrible place that was just filled with a lot of negative energy all around, negative energy. It's just, yes. and envy and a lot of slander. There was a lot of lies that were spoken about me behind my back, and people would even look at me like I was this horrible person. I was wondering, what did I even do? And it's just, this is how evil spirits are around. This is how you know when there's negative gossip, when there's a lot of drama, when there's division. When there's a lot of division and people are looking down upon other people and they're treating each other unfairly and differently. This is how you know that there's there's not a good spirit around you when this happens. This goes for everyone, that Satan is in those environments just destroying those people, and the spirits are jumping from people to be evil, to talk negatively down on others. So we have to be aware on the spiritual realm that this is what's going on. That people are constantly being, because their spirits are weak, they're constantly being just um open to other spirits to jump on to them and do evil things onto others. And I was never able to do what people would do to me. That's the thing about many of its chosen ones. We can't do what other people do to us, and I can't comprehend how people can do such um horrible things to others. And so I was shocked, and there were days where I would go home and I would cry, and I would just say, I would pray to God. I remember I would say, God, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing to deserve this? What did I do so wrong that people have to treat me this way? And I would just talk to God, go home and talk to God and cry it out. And I wasn't aware, but it was the bright light, the anointing over my life, that it causes people to really be jealous and envious of the anointing, the bright light, the spirit that you have within. Because I was thinking, these people have money, they have everything, so I don't know what they want from me. But it was just the spirit within me that they were just constantly trying to break my spirit down and, just dim my light. Each opportunity they got, just dim my light so they can pretend like they're better than me and more superior, because I made them feel inferior without even doing anything. I just caused them to feel inadequate when they were around my presence. And this is what you go through with people in the third dimension. There's a lot of gossiping, and so so that was a traumatic experience in my life, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to pull through out of that, because my senior year I became very depressed. I actually was going through that spiritual battle, and they had me like this, like low, and they had me like as if I was the lowest of the lowest, and they would even check up and see, how is she doing? And they would laugh. It was like their own entertainment to see someone suffering. And that's how sadistic certain people can be. And I can't comprehend till this point what how they can be so wicked to people. It's just sick. It's very sick. And that's how they treat homeless people. I had people in my class who would just laugh at people who are homeless, and they were just very insecure people. Each student around me was very insecure. They constantly had to put someone else down to build themselves up. Um, but I'm the type that I dislike anyone, and I actually can't stand when people laugh at homeless people, because they don't know what it's like to lose everything and to be at that point in their life. And it's the empathy that they were lacking. There was no empathy. It was just, I don't understand. They had a lot of narcissistic tendencies, and no empathy. So yeah, senior year, I was very depressed. I'm gonna go ahead and, when I barely started high school, I would really try. I would do my makeup. I would dress really nice to feel confident, and I would feel confident when I would just adorn myself and just look nice. But they would judge me. They would say, she thinks she's arrogant, she thinks she's all that, she's intimidating. I constantly told that I was intimidating, that my energy was intimidating, and, oh, you intimidate me, or you're too much, you're too happy, you're too sensitive. It was always being too much of something that was bothering them, and I needed to tone it down or lower my standards or play it small. I had to play it small around a bunch of small people all the time, and I felt that I was just suppressing myself. And I felt trapped in that environment. I felt so trapped. Um, but it wasn't that I was intimidating. It was that they were intimidated by my light, by my anointing. And I even had certain narcissists in that high school that they would try to destroy my life. And they did. I mean, they did slander me, and there was a bunch of lies because narcissists are great master manipulators at creating this smear campaign and trashing a person's name so they can look like I'm a bad person and they're all angels. That's how they were playing, that they were all angels and they were all perfect, that they can do no wrong, but I was the one who was the abuser out of all their bad behaviors that they did towards me. And they would never take accountability for their bad behaviors. It's like they had no self-awareness of what they were doing onto other people's to hurt other people. But I've always been sensitive and very self-aware, and I was very aware of of what these people were doing, and I knew it wasn't right. So yeah, so I had to just survive through that experience in my life. Um, but it was also because I didn't fit in. I think differently, I dress differently, I behave. I just don't follow social norms, and I can't follow social norms. And I get very bored by people's conversations because I wanted deep connections with people. I wanted to form like a very good relationship, and I was loyal to these people. I was respectful to them, and all I got in return was disloyalty, um, being stabbed in the back, and being lied to and laughed at and mocked. But that's what happens as a chosen one. It really does happen. We do go through a lot of rejection. We have to learn how to become immune to rejection. Especially, I started off with my family rejected me, being the black sheep of the family, then going to school and not being accepted by anyone there. Even teachers would participate, and they were envious and jealous and trying to put me down as well. So, so that experience was that. So senior year, I was the most depressed. I wouldn't even try to look nice anymore. I was just depressed. I was exhausted, depleted. My energy was just gone. Like, they took all my energy away from me. I felt so weak during those times. And I finally had to break free from that covert narcissist that I was living with as well. And I moved. I moved out into my own place. But many of those people, they probably still think that I'm still struggling and I'm still at the lowest point of my life. And they wanted me to fail. They told me that I wasn't gonna be anything, that I was a weird person, and just a bunch of horrible things that I was told, that I wasn't gonna amount to anything. And they really kicked me down, like down. And I thank God, because God got me out of that situation. Without God, I wouldn't be able to have gotten up and become the person that I am today and find my true self. So, yeah, I was like everyone against me. uh, so, so I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt like I was an alien. I really did feel like I was an alien in school. But as soon as I broke free from that covert narcissist, I had my spiritual awakening. I had that reality where it was just me alone with my pain, with everything, and I just had to face myself, face everything. And I went all from within, an inner healing, and I experienced that. And recovering from a narcissist, it's kind of like you become addicted to that trauma bond, and that trauma bond for 21 years of my life of being under control and being brainwashed to think of me as less than, um, I had to unwire everything that I was taught from that. And it's recovering from narcissistic abuse is something that's very difficult. You feel like you're just losing your mind, like you need that narcissist because you're just addicted to the narcissist. You're addicted to the highs and the lows. You're addicted to just being on a roller coaster all the time. And so it felt that way, and I was constantly just saying, "Oh, I need to go back to the narcissist. I feel like I need drama in my life. I need to feel that adrenaline." And I felt so bored. I felt like I was just losing it, and I spent so many times just crying and not being able to eat, having no energy. But I ended up living with another narcissist when I moved out, a malignant narcissist. And my PTSD was rampant. I'm saying rampant because I literally escaped a covert narcissist to be set with a malignant narcissist in the apartment that I was living in. And then I asked if I could be moved to another dorm. In the other dorm, I also get sent with another narcissist. So then I discovered that I was being targeted after my spiritual awakening. Started to be gang stalked. I started to be worked mobbed when I went to that job. It was like because of my high consciousness and the self awareness and the awakening that I had, the people at my work, they were all operating with low energy. They had low consciousness, low self-awareness, and some of the people that worked there, they were narcissists. And so as soon as I just showed up at the job, I had this very high consciousness and this bright light and this very high energy. They felt threatened by it. That's another thing. They feel threatened by your energy as well. And that's why they tell you that you're intimidating, because of how strong your presence is and how strong that energy is. So this is another thing in high school as well. My energy was very strong, my presence as well. And I would show up to class and I would speak, and they would just stay silent and ignore me and validate me, reject me. Their energy was so unwelcoming. And what else? One day I didn't show up to class, and they were just all saying, "Where were you? We missed your energy. We missed your good vibes." And that's how it's a love and hate. So, but you have to be careful with those, because haters will try to destroy you at the same time that they want to benefit off of you. So I went to the job and I was going through that workplace mobbing. I left the job. I said I can't stand it anymore. This is too much. It's like I'm reliving all my trauma again. I need to get out. And I left that job. But the gang stalking, it's like the cars are just driving by constantly. And I had my father, he's a malignant narcissist as well. He was trying to gain access again into my life. So I've never grown up with a safe person. Um, it was constantly trauma, 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 and standing out. But yeah, you stand out. But then as soon as I started to heal, it's like God just blessed me, even through my isolation, even now. Um, my spirit, it's just a lot of us chosen ones, our spirits are very bright. We're this light in this dark world. We really are, and so we scare people off of our energy. They can't lie to us because of our spirit of discernment. It's really working very well. And so I do believe that I have certain people from my past, from high school, watching my YouTube videos, from college as well, watching my YouTube videos. So I do think that they keep up, because they keep up with me. And when I had social media, I had certain friends who would be the first ones to watch my stories, the first ones to see what I was posting, but they would never like and comment. It was just constantly keeping an eye on everything that I was doing. So these are your haters as well. But I had certain people from my past try to come back into my life, and this is why I want to make this video, because as light beings, we need to protect our light, and certain people are coming to our life not to help us grow, not to help us keep a strong faith with God, but they're coming to try to destroy, distract us, and mess us up in our path, in our peace, our happiness, our joy. They come to steal, kill, and destroy. So certain people of my past, they were just trying really hard to destroy destroy the light, destroy what God created in his image. So yes. So that's why I'm gonna make this video and that says don't let people back into your life. They left me at my lowest points. It's not that I'm holding a grudge. I'm not holding a grudge against these people. It's just the realization that when someone loves you, someone truly cares about you and wants the best for you, they're going to be there for you, not only in your good times, not because they want to benefit off of your happiness and all the work that you've done and be a part of your success. No, people who love you, truly love you, they're going to be with you during the the darkest storms in your life, during rock bottom, when you don't have any support, when when you really need someone to help you. And the fact is, these people had the ability to support, to help. They had the chance to be some help someone. Especially when especially when you as a light being, you're constantly trying to help people out of their problems. You're trying to rescue people from their own destruction. But yes, so during those darkest times, I had no support. Most of those people that would just use words, I'll always be there for you. I'm always going to be your friend. And it was all just words to manipulate. None of it was true. Their actions were always showing the opposite of what they were saying. They were saying, "I'm always going to be there for you." But when I actually needed something, their phones weren't even, they wouldn't answer the phone. They were just left. They just disappeared. And they thought that without their support, I was really going to mess up my life and be nothing. But God didn't allow it. These people are not God. They wanted to play God. I had so many people play God in my life that they would say things like, "You're this and you're a bad person." They're not God to judge me. They're not even God to say how my story ends, how this destiny ends in this life. And it's only God who has control over our lives. And so during those darkest times, no one was there. I did most of the work to heal myself, to go from within. And I realized that I was just surrounded by a lot of people who were just taking advantage of me and manipulating me and deceiving me. And so I started to just I got out of that dark place that I was in. I healed myself and I just started to shine even brighter once you start to heal. So, but I think ever since birth, many of us chosen ones have been anointed. We were brought into this world with demons, like our family, their handlers. They're people who are sent to destroy us, and we're constantly going through tests and tests in our lives that are meant to keep us, to actually destroy us and actually take us out. But we overcome those experiences, and that's through God, because God has his hand in our lives, and he's not going to let us fall, no matter what we go through. And so yeah, during those darkest times, I went through stuff like that. But now that I'm doing good, and now that I'm not, I mean, I mean, I'm not doing as bad as I used to be doing. But I have people from the past coming back into my life. Some of them even commented on my YouTube video. An ex-best friend who left me, who was jealous of me, and it was very obvious that she was jealous of me, because as soon as I started doing well, it's as if the people just start disappearing out of your life. They can't stand you doing better than them because they're in secret competition with you. And that's how my supposed best friend was in competition with me the whole time, and I wasn't even aware of it. But as soon as I moved out of my abusive household, she was giving me bad advice. Don't you think you should go back to your abuser because then you'll be able to make it. I don't think you can make it out on your own. And just filling me with a lot of self-doubt. And I said, "No, I think I could do it on my own. And I have to. I have no choice because I don't want to be with an abuser." And so I made the choice and I followed what God was telling me to do. So I got out of that situation, and I'm a narcissistic survivor because of that. And um, yeah, once I got out of that situation, it's as if she wouldn't look me in the eyes anymore. I knew something in my heart, my gut was telling me she's been telling all your personal information to someone else. She ended up replacing me with another friend of hers, and they became really good friends, and I was left out. I was just put to the side as if I was never anything in her life. But yeah, I started doing better, and I didn't hear from her anymore at all. I would try to make plans with her. I would tell her, "Oh, you want to go out and let's go out to go eat and let's go out and have fun." But it was just that very jealous, envious spirit of her. She couldn't hide it. So it was really a toxic relationship, and I couldn't anymore. So we went our separate ways. But as soon as I started doing this YouTube channel, she commented on one of my videos, and she commented, but I don't think I'm gonna take her back because of what happened. But this goes to show that people don't forget how you made them feel. They don't forget a good person in their lives. So they will try to come back. But sometimes they don't want to see us shine. So they don't want to see us shine. They expected us to be less than what we're becoming, and so they're becoming very envious and jealous because they lied about us. Many of us chosen ones, we've been lied to. People have really tried to make us out to be this bad person and put us in a negative spotlight. And when we end up being the opposite of what they said about us, they want to try to come into our lives and destroy us. So then they can continue to live that lie that they made up, because eventually all their lies comes out and they all comes out into the light. And that's what happens. So we can't invite people back from the past into our lives because we're no longer that old version of ourselves. We changed ourselves. We've done the inner healing. They didn't like us when we were at our lowest, when we were struggling. We were trying to get ourselves together. They wanted nothing to do with us because they couldn't benefit off of us. But that's because we lost a lot because of how much we've been taken advantage of. And when you have nothing else to offer, that's when people they're done with their motive. They got what they wanted out of you and then they leave. Because that's all they cared for. They didn't care about a connection or a relationship with you, just what they can take from you. I'm gonna go ahead and put someone as my moderator. So after I had to cut off a lot of those people in my life that were just using me and there was no reciprocity in the relationship, I felt so much free. I felt light, and I felt that I wasn't surrounded by a lot of problems because constantly I was dealing with a lot of other people's problems, and they wanted to make their problems, their insecurities, the way that they felt about themselves. They wanted to make me feel responsible for how they felt about me. So I had to pray to get out of that situation that I was in during those times with those people around me. And none of them were were um were of God. They were mostly opposition. They were all meant to target me. I was being targeted constantly. So I prayed myself to get out of those situations, and I asked God to keep those people away from me because they were just very mean and had bad intentions towards me. So if you have to pray to get out of a situation, to get out of this toxic abusive relationship that you're in with a certain person, and when you finally leave that relationship, you feel so much better and you feel like God just removed people who are not meant to be in your life. You can't go back to the situation that you prayed yourself out of. So they'll try to come back and they'll try again to see if they can continue to treat you how they used to treat you, and to see if you're still that old person, that old version of yourself who was just easily fooled and deceived and manipulated. So we have to understand that the people in our past, they're no longer going to deal with with the old version of ourselves. They're going to deal with the new version of ourselves, who we finally reinvented ourselves to be. And we're constantly changing as spiritual beings. We're never staying the same. Every time we go through difficult lessons, we learn how to maneuver differently. We know how to deal with certain situations, because everything was all just a test, and we learned the lesson, and now we have the ability to gain wisdom, to know what we have to do in certain situations that were placed in our lives. And most of the time, they only want to come back because they want to take something that you have that they really want. They feel entitled. They feel entitled. They feel that they deserve it. They feel that somehow that that they deserve to be you, and you deserve to not have what you're getting, your blessings. And also because they lack something within themselves. So envious and jealous people, they'll want to be around you. They're going to want to get close to you, but just because they want to try to mimic you, try to study you and learn you and see what ideas, what wisdom, what information that you have, that they can just um steal away, steal from you, and then end up destroying you, and then they end up pretending that they're you, and then that's just how envious people will always try to be in your life. They'll compete with you, but at the same time, they want to do exactly what you're doing. They're going to see if they can do you better than you do you. You start doing something, and they start doing the same exact thing, but now it becomes a competition where they want to try to outdo you, and they're trying to follow what God has ordained you to do, and they want to try to steal your anointing. So be aware that certain people in your life, they're they're not inspired in a good way. They're inspired in the way that they want to destroy what you have going on, because they're very envious. We have to understand, envious is a very dangerous spirit within people. They feel that you don't deserve to have what you have, and they feel that they deserve to destroy it. So another thing about envious and jealous people is that when you are doing bad, they're happy about it. They are just satisfied, and they praise, and they go and have a party because you're doing bad in your life. So they love it when you're doing bad in your life. But an envious person, as soon as you start doing better and you start improving yourself and making good choices and doing better for yourself, they're going to feel sad whenever you start to win. And they're even going to feel angry whenever you continuously win and win and win. You're going to feel the anger, and you're going to feel, why are they being angry at me, if I'm just concentrating on what God has for me? But it's because an envious person, they don't seek inner validation from themselves. They seek their self-worth through you. So imagine becoming friends with an envious person. They're going to see their self-worth through you, and every time you constantly do good or you look nice, they're going to feel that you're making them look bad and that you're purposely trying to make them feel bad about themselves. So they're going to attack you and put you down. So, be aware of that an envious person wants you to do bad. Whenever you do bad, they rejoice it. Whenever you're doing good, they become sad and they become distant. They're going to give you the silent treatment and withdraw their attention from you because they're trying to make you feel guilty, and they're trying to make you feel that you're doing the wrong thing even when you're doing all the right things. But they want you to feel bad about yourself. That's another thing. They want you to feel bad about yourself, and they're going to try to find anything that they can use to make you feel inferior or not good enough. So, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. They're not pretending, they're not acting, they didn't do it by mistake. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When it's a repetitive pattern of behavior and a repetitive pattern of giving you backhanded compliments, cutting down your self-esteem, and making you just feel bad about yourself, that's exactly who they are. They're not pretending to be something that they're not. So we have to realize that even though we see the good in them because of our light, we see the light within them, we also have to be aware of their true intentions, what they're actually doing, their behavior towards us, not what they're saying. Because many of them will try to come back into our lives and sweet talk their way by using nice words like, oh, I love you, I care for you, and I'm always going to be here for you no matter what. We're going to be friends for a long time. But their behavior is showing you the opposite, that they don't care about you, that you're just an option for them, that they don't really have good intentions for you, and that whenever you need something, they can't help you. They're not available because they're envious. They don't want to help you get better. So they also become jealous because you're not living up to their low expectation of you. They expected you to be nothing, to be less. So that's why they treated you like that. They overlooked you, they rejected you, they saw you as the underdog, they saw you as being weak, and they expected less of you. So they become jealous when you start to become more than what they expected you to be. So this is also where jealousy and envy stems from. And it doesn't have to be materialistic stuff. It's spiritually. You're evolving in the spiritual realm constantly. And just your energy that they're jealous of, they want to have that same energy that you have. They want to have the same personality that you have. So they become very hateful and spiteful towards you. This is not love, it's hate and spite. They really resent you, and they're bitter because of you just being yourself. Whenever you're yourself, they want to try to criticize you and put you down. But it's only because they can't stand the fact that you are more than them, so they feel inferior. So certain people in the past are going to try to come back, but because they're jealous, envious, and because they only want to take what you have. So during this year, during your whole lifetime, a lot of people were revealed to you who they really were. God showed you. God unlifted the veil over your eyes, and He wanted you to see exactly what each person was carrying in their soul, what type of person they are, not for what you want them to be. Don't force anything. with anyone. When God doesn't want someone in your life, it's not going to work no matter what, because they're not for you. Someone who's for you, the love is going to flow. Someone who's not for you, there's going to be a lot of effort, and you're going to have to do a lot more work than a relationship is required out of you. As well as outgrowing people. So a lot of people were revealed to you for who they are. You have to see people for who they are. If they're wicked, if they're very toxic, if they're destructive, and if they're selfish and they only want to use you for their own personal gain. Be aware of all this. Be aware of narcissists, egotistical, selfish, jealous, envious, hateful, and be aware of people's evil ways of being. And competition as well. There's no friendship that will last if there's a competition, because you shouldn't be in competition with a person that is meant to be in your life, or fake people as well. So God will reveal to you fake people by how they treat you, how they make you feel, not by how they look, how they smile, and what they say out of their mouth. No, you're gonna see that they're fake because of how they treat you and how they have you as a last option. So we have to let go of people in the third dimension. People who do not want to change and who aren't willing to change. And people who never want you to be above them. So certain individuals in your life will compete with you. They're going to want to be above you at all times and play these power trips and ego trips with you. So don't entertain foolishness. Don't even stick around for people to just make you feel like you're inferior to them when you're not. When you know that you're greater than what they are. So see people through the lens of spirit of discernment. See the wickedness in their hearts, in their minds, and in their spirits. So don't allow any of these toxic relationships back into your life, especially when you had to heal yourself from them. When you had to heal yourself, you had to find yourself again after you left that relationship. It just means that they're going to probably do that same thing again to you. Thank you, Marina, for the contribution. So an envious person will always try to make you feel bad about yourself and bring confusion in your life. So we have to understand that our business and our problem is not their envy. Envy is their business. That's how they feel. Something inside of them, their inner issues, is causing them to be envy. A very childhood insecurity that they have, or something that they lack, or something that they wish to possess, but they're not willing to do the work. They're going to make it feel like it's your problem. But we have to know what belongs to us and which battles are actually ours and which ones are not. When someone's envious and jealous of you, you have no control of how that person feels towards you, because it's something that's inside of them that's causing them to want to make you feel bad about yourself, because that's how they feel about themselves. And we have to let go of negative people as well. So negative people who don't speak any positivity into your life. They're constantly being negative, they're constantly criticizing you, expecting you to do more. They never have anything positive to say. towards you or towards anyone else. And as soon as you got yourself out of that dark place that they trapped you in, they're going to become angry because their plan didn't work. These are the plans of the enemy to keep you stuck in a dark space. So, an envious person will also try to desert you, so they leave your life and they end up ghosting you and disappearing in your life, or stonewalling you and giving you the silent treatment to try to punish you for doing good in your life. Or they're either going to try to sabotage you to keep you in their level. So they're going to want to try to sabotage you because they can't stand that. So that's why we have to be very careful of who we allow into our inner space, our peace, our mind, and our hearts. Because an envious person, we end up feeling bad for them. They're going to want to try to sabotage us. And so, including family as well. Also, be aware of people from your past who are going to try to be rude to you as well. They're noticing that you're doing really good for yourself, and they're going to start to be rude for you for no apparent reason. Just rude for you for no reason at all. And sometimes you may ask, why is this person being so rude to me if I didn't even do anything to them, or I've never even said anything about them, and I've been nice to them. They're rude to you because they're really envious underneath their animosity. It's envy. So you can't be friends, you can't form a real relationship with someone who feels this way towards you, because there's no love, it's hate, and it's jealousy and envy. So remember, everything works out for our best interest. Everything that is happening and everything that has left our life, it was all for a good reason. It all has its purpose. And when you have been shown who someone is, you have to never allow that person back into your life. They are not coming back to love you. They are coming back to see if they can try to destroy you again. So there are many people in your life who are jealous and envious of where you are currently in your life and where you're heading. So they're trying to get in the way to distract you because they know that where you're heading is so much better than what they have for you. Always remember that. What God has for you is so much better than what these people did for you. They couldn't even do the bare minimum for you. So they will try to do anything to crush you, to crush your spirit, to intimidate you and make you fearful, and to separate you from your path and your faith in God, your relationship with God. So we can't allow certain people back into our space. So let's start by accepting the fact that that was just a past version and a past experiences that we went in our life with those people. But we can't reinvite the past when we're trying to let go of the past so we can transition into the new. So drop the baggage. There's a saying that says, out with the old, in with the new. So out with the old stuff, get rid of that, your identity, the labels that they put on you, the lies that they spoke, and all the doubt that they wanted to feed you with. And make room for the future, like Alexander says. So we have to let go of the 3D contracts with our family, with our friends, with certain people, even at work. We can still be attached to them and they can still be attached to our energy as well. So we have to cut those ties and cut them out of our lives. It doesn't matter what good history you had, what good times you have. If you meet with them today and you don't resonate with them, or you're both on different spiritual soul levels in alignment, you're not in alignment with them, then that just means that you guys have to go through your own separate paths. That they're not meant to go where you're going. And a lot of people are not meant to go where you're going, chosen ones, because they won't be able to actually withhold all the attacks and everything, all the tests that you're gonna go through in your life. Because whenever you start to increase your value, you're going to be attacked and tested. So you have to have an increased ability for spiritual discernment, and your intuition has to be very sharp during these times. The days of giving second chances or another opportunities are gone. We're already transitioning into a new world, and we cannot afford to end up in a lower level than how much work we have been doing. We have to really protect all the self-healing, all the inner work that we've done. So they weren't willing to step up and do the inner work for themselves, then you just have to separate and go your own separate ways. And they can find people who are in alignment with them, and you can end up finding the right people in your life who are going to be in alignment with you and who are going to have the same mindset as you. Not corrupt your mindset and corrupt your spirit with darkness. Thank you, Mina, for the contribution. So make sure that you keep people around you who make you feel loved, accepted. They don't tell you that you have to change yourself. They don't make you leave certain parts of who you are, your personality behind, just because they only like you only partially, not fully, for who you are. You don't deserve something like that in your life. So be fully yourself. And here's a couple of things to remember. If a person in your life hates you, trust me, they still despise you now. And if a person in your life left you during your hard times, they will do that again. So it's important to have compassion for ignorant people, but it's more important to understand what ignorant people can do to your life, to destroy your life. So sometimes, someone who tried to finish you before is not going to celebrate you. When they try to plot for your demise, your downfall, for you not being where you're at right now, a lot of people in your past are very surprised. They're very shocked at the fact that they try to destroy you, and they're only coming back to see how it is that all the obstacles and everything that they tried to do to you, how is it that you survived it all? That you were able to come back even stronger than ever after everything that they tried to do to you that was meant for bad. They meant it for bad, not for good. So understand that when certain people try to finish you and they try to destroy you, they're not going to celebrate you. They're going to want to try to come back to see if they can finish their assignment that not God, that Satan has used them to complete. Because some people are sent by God, but other people are sent by Satan, and they're used as pawns in our lives. And we need to be aware of this. We need to stop seeing everyone as each person has the same soul that we have. Each person has the same good intentions. No, certain people do not have the best interest for you. They do not want what's best for you. They do not truly value you. So understand this. They're not going to value you or your energy, nothing. They're just going to end up screwing you over and leaving you once they're done getting what they want from you. So they're coming back to see if they can continue to deceive you again. So you have to stick to your decisions. Once you stand on something, make sure you actually stand on what you say. When you finally say, I'm done, I'm cutting this person off, this is just depleting me, and this is just hurting my heart, and it's causing a lot of pain in my life, and you understand that there's nothing you can do to make it work, then you have to just stick to your decisions and go back and say, why did I end up cutting this person out of my life? And you're going to remember why you had to make that decision to no longer associate or allow that person back into your life. Remember, what are the reasons why you decided to make a choice? So the times of reconciliation, they don't have the strength. I mean, the times you can forgive, but not allow them back into your life during the present moment. And most of them do not have the strength to change. And we already know this. So, this is all about consciousness in the spiritual realm. People who have pure hearts and people who have evil hearts and negative and who are dark in the darkness. We're in the light. So we can't stay in the darkness and expect to be in the light. That's not how it's going to work. We want to stay in the light, then we have to be continuously focusing on maintaining our frequency and doing things that are high vibrational things, activities, and places. It's all about energy. And our purpose is to raise the frequency. That's what God has called us for, to help people heal themselves. But we have to help a lot of people, not just one selfish person who wants to isolate us and only take advantage of us in our heart. No, we have to help a lot more people. So these weak people, they'll try to set you up. And they'll try to come back into your life to see if they can set you up again. And to see if, since the first time didn't work, now they're going to see if the second time it's actually going to work. So, your spiritual enemies can even be your mother, your fathers, your siblings, your family, friends, co-workers, people who you live with. It can be anyone. They can all be used to block your blessings from you. We must use our gifts to help others, exactly. But use it wisely. Use our spiritual gifts wisely, not recklessly, where we're just giving all our good spiritual gifts out to people who just want to destroy it. So, When they come back into your life, knocking on your door, asking for another chance, you have to make sure that you do not allow them back into your life. Guard your heart. Even God says it, guard your heart. That's what most of these people are after, your heart. They want to continue to hurt you again and again, so then your heart can turn cold. So really be careful about who you open your heart to and what kind of energy you're allowing into your heart, and spirits into your heart as well. Because some of these negative, low vibrational beings are going to want to attach their negative energy to your soul. But they don't want to look within themselves. They only see externally that someone's better than them, so they have to try to put that person down to their level. So we're right here. We can't stoop down and help down here. Okay? We have to stay up here. And the people who are beneath us, they have to raise themselves up to be over here. So we already did all the work to self-healing. We cannot afford to just go like this and be like, oh, but I feel bad. I need to help and rescue these people. You're going to end up being in that same situation or worse. So God has you up here for a reason to help. So do not lower. Stay up here. That's why you have to get rid of toxic and abusive relationships, trauma bonds, because they're going to keep us stuck or keep us from not being able to grow spiritually. They're just going to keep lowering us and lowering us and lowering us until they have full control over us. And then now we can't even be able to help people because we have certain people just putting fear and their limitations and stuff into us, making us feel bad. So the people who betrayed you, assassinated your character, left you, manipulated you, deceived you, they're willing to do it again. They're willing to do it all over again because they haven't changed. Even when they're going to come into your life and tell you, I've changed, I'm a better person. You have to be very cautious and test their spirit, not their words, and their behavior towards you. So remember, nobody abandons someone that they love. People only leave someone that they were using in their life. And I've given opportunity after opportunity, and it's always the same old story. It doesn't ever change. So if it didn't work out the first time, it's probably not going to work out the second time. They weren't meant for you, and that's why it didn't work out. That's why God didn't intended it to work out, because they were only seasonal in your life. They were only meant to teach you something throughout your journey, but they weren't meant to be tagging along with you everywhere you go. Another topic I want to talk about is not just people from your past, but secret haters. Now, secret haters are people that you don't know if they like you or if they don't like you. Whenever you feel confused about someone, that just means that they probably are not for you. So secret haters are those people that you feel like they're nice to you. They say hi to you every once in a while. They haven't done anything to you for you to not like them. But you still feel a sense of feeling that they're not quite for you. I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so if you have secret haters and they're not fully supporting you, or if they're not congratulating you or helping you out, then those secret haters are not really for you. Especially when they hang out or they are around people who do not like you, but they haven't done something to you personally, but they're still around people who despise you or they just don't like you. So certain people don't really want you for you. They want you for what you have that benefits them. So it can be your resources, the type of energy that they're getting from you, your emotions. Some people like to target your emotions to get an emotional reaction out of you, to control you. And just for an ego boost, they like the way that you make them feel and you boost their ego with your positive, good energy. Or just because you're convenient for them and they're bored and they just want to have someone. Or just because they're being nosy and they want to keep up with you, to compare their lives to your life. And remember, rejection is God's protection. So, those people who rejected you, it was just for God's protection. So this is not to close your heart. It's just because we just need to be aware of the schemes of the devil. We need to be aware of the type of people that we let into our lives. So when God tells you to walk away, it's time to walk away. And remember that, for I am the Lord who heals you. So God will heal you, and God will build you back up. And these people were not sent by God. Also, people from your past who like to play games with you. Don't allow anyone to come back into your life to just play you again. And Proverbs 26:11 says, "As a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool repeats his folly." They're trying to see if you're foolish enough to open that door again, for them to wound you once more. So use the power and the spirit of discernment. And use your wisdom. And don't fall for it. They haven't changed. They just want to manipulate you. They want to use you for their own selfish gain, or they want to use you to play mind games on you. Especially, I wouldn't trust a person who has left your life but then returns back years after they left you back in 2020 something, 2016, and then they want to come back after years later. That is something that they're not really for you. They're just, I wouldn't trust someone who leaves you and then spends so much time not even talking to you or anything. And then out of the blue, they just reappear in your life. So certain questions that you should ask when someone tries to come back into your life and they want to ask personal questions, ask them, why do you want to know? Or what is it that you really want from me? Ask them to also give you an explanation as to why they're here. If that person gets angry or desperate when you put them on the spot, then it exposes their true intentions towards you. They will reveal their true intentions towards you. So don't even entertain foolishness for a bit. Detach yourself and maintain your strong boundaries. It's not worth it. And if that person weighs you down, keeps you stuck, makes you feel negative all the time, then that person does not want the best for you and does not want to see you grow. You should live your life freely and happily and abundantly. And ask yourself, what are their real intentions? What are their true intentions? Because the truth will always be the truth. Remember the times when they were only tolerating you. They didn't really want you to be around them. You came off as the underdog, as the last choice. They left you because they really truly believed that they were going to find better than you. So they left you and then they went out to go see if they were going to find someone who was so much better than you because they overlooked you. But now they want to come back into your life because they can't find something better than you. My ex did that. She left and came back a year later, then left again. It's a sick game they play. I agree. People should be able to live their life freely without oppression or being downtrodden, free from outside interference, correct. And many of us chosen ones are very empathetic human beings. We're very sensitive. And so we need to use our empathy in order to discern the emotions, the energy, and the body language, as well as what they don't do for you. Also pay attention to that. Not just what people say, but as also what they don't tell you. And if they're hiding anything from you. Really be aware of that as an empath. Remember, when we're too blessed to be stressed out. We shouldn't be always stressed out. Go get good light. That's a little better. So people can say a lot to you. They can say all the right things to you. But you have to watch what they do, not just what they say to you. There's a lot of people who are very good at using their words to manipulate people. But it's always what they do. Are their actions following through with what they're saying to you, because when their words are not matching their actions, they're gaslighting you and they're just deceiving you at that point. And if someone causes you nothing but pain, trauma, heartache, then they're not for you. People like this will never change, and they have a long way to go to work on themselves. So what we do in this life will always be what we pay. What we reap is what we will sow. So yes, this is just a reminder that certain people from your past will try to reach out to you. They are going to come back to you. Many of them have been keeping an eye on you, even when you're unaware of it. But they've been watching how much you have been progressing, and they see your spiritual transformation and the beautiful light within you shining bright. So they are trying to come back into your life, to take credit for what you've done. Even if your parents can even take credit for all the work that you've done and say, and pretend like they were the ones who helped you get to where you're at. We need to be aware of all these things. See, there's a lot of deception out here. So we need to protect and guard our hearts. Because just like we have a purpose, they also have a purpose in their life. And so remember, if anyone brings you down, brings negativity back into your life, tries to tell you that you've changed, that you should feel bad for the change in your life, you should not feel guilty, and you should continue to evolve and grow. Thank you so much for watching this live. I'm gonna have to end it because it's already been an hour, but thank you so much for watching this live, and I'm gonna go ahead and post it so you guys can all rewatch it and remind yourself that don't allow the past back into your life, especially when you're making something so beautiful out for your future and your present. It's not selfish of you to be more protective over yourself. And we should always make sure that we're surrounded by good energy. So thank you so much for watching, and you guys all have a good night, and continue to be yourselves, continue to stay true to who you are, and continue to shine that beautiful light in the world. Bye.